we have KingSlayeR, who's more of a newer talent, going up against TeebuL from the land of Pakistan and the UK. And yeah, he's been also quite a threat here to this region for quite a long time, especially before the merger this year. So I'm curious to see what their levels are this time.
Yeah, definitely. Instinctively, I'm going to favor KingSlayeR in this matchup here, but TvP is definitely a matchup that's changed quite a bit with the patch, so it's going to be interesting to see which of these players has adapted better.
Definitely, and here we go. We're getting into our very first qualifying match. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Radisson Station, we have the Pakistani Protoss player representing Berserker Esports. It is TeebuL.
And in the top right-hand corner of the map, we just saw him take out Amio. Will he be able to take out TeebuL to qualify here? This is KingSlayeR.
Here we go again. KingSlayeR, he's been looking good, he's been looking strong against Zerg, but what about against Protoss? And the other big question mark is TeebuL, because the reality is that TeebuL, he isn't the most active player anymore. At least I want to say that, but I also should recognize that TeebuL did recently join Berserker Esports. I think this was like a month, maybe 2 months ago, like relatively recently. So yeah, he wouldn't have joined the team if he didn't, if he wasn't being active, if he didn't want to continue to compete again.
Yeah, I have seen in general, just in StarCraft over the last 6 months, I would say. There has been a few teams like Berserker who have been picking up a lot of players and just really trying to breathe life back into the scene. It's been pretty cool to see. And I think there have been quite a few players that we haven't seen for a while that have kind of come back. I'm struggling to think of examples, but there's definitely a few.
Yeah, there are some players that have returned, and it's been great to see. I think Namshar is one of them, where Namshar, he has actually been very active in the online tournament scene, despite being inactive for a very long time. Someone who recently came back is Nertio. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but Nertio did play in the European qualifiers this weekend as well. So yeah, it's really cool to see these players come back and be revitalized in some way.
Yeah, I mean, players like that. We've seen even people like Epic and Future have been playing a lot more often than they were before. I feel like, yeah, just the patch, just a few more extra teams have made things a little bit more exciting. But here we go. Starting things off, TeebuL's going to be going for a low ground gateway. Goes for the full wall as well. Doesn't really want to deal with any shenanigans with Reapers or Hellions or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I just realized that we're loading into Radisson Station, and this is the map with the pocket base. The pocket base is available here. It's a full wall off at this ramp as well. Fun fact, there is no Reaper Cliff to get in, so you can just wall off here, and there's just
What?
Yeah, there's nothing. There's no way here. There's no way here. There's no way. Yeah, there's no Reaper Cliff, Papi. So you just wall off, and you get a free 3 bases. That's Radisson Station.
That's nuts. I mean, and I'm thinking already as well, like, you could be playing like 3 base, 2 base all-ins, 2 base carrier. Like, there's so many different builds that you can hide from each other. There's a lot of dead space in between the 3 of the bases here as well that you could be hiding buildings. Yeah, it's pretty cooked. I'd personally be banning this map. But anyway.
Yeah. But my vetoes are reasonable, Papi. As we are going for DT. Oh, remember TeebuL? We're going for DTs. Let's go. Of course we are.
Yes. TeebuL does quite famously use DTs. I was remembering him doing some builds where he proxied the DT shrine and didn't make a robo and just kind of walked them in.
Yes. Yes.
But this is going to be 4 gates with DTs. I can't count. 3 gates with DTs. Wild.
Yeah, 3 gate DT. He is mining through these mineral patches as well, so he's looking to take his 3rd base. The other thing, of course, is a double mineral wall, and there are some rocks here to block this off to help, because we need a pocket base, Papi, clearly. And KingSlayeR,
safe.
Yeah, KingSlayeR back at home, going for a standard opener. Now, when we have seen TVPs in the past on Radisson Station, we actually have seen like a rush to greed and a rush from the Terran player to also take a fast 3rd base to keep up. But it seems like KingSlayeR is not opting to go for that.
Yeah, I think it definitely makes sense. I mean, if you look at the Protoss build, he's been incredibly greedy, and because of this map, he can get away with it. He's only made 2 gateway units, apart from that Adept, so only 2 Stalkers for this drop coming in. It's pretty unusual. Obviously, he's cutting all that to get the DTs faster.
Oh, exactly, and the mine drop does come in. Good reaction out of TeebuL. He's going to be losing 2 workers, but only 2 workers. Meanwhile, across the map, here comes a Prism. Dark Shrine is done. Do we have enough energy for a scan? We do not. Oh.
Yeah, no energy for the scan. Looks like that's a fresh mule, so very unfortunate timing there. That Raven is quite a long way away as well. We're going to have to see how good KingSlayer's emergency reactions are here.
Yeah, there we go. We do have 1 scan available, but even if he scans, we can just pick up and save the DT, and there we go. Good control out of TeebuL. He saves every single one of his invisible men, and he's still getting more damage done, but the Raven comes out.
Yeah, the split off DT is going to be going down. Looks like the natural has been denied from mining all of this time as well. He's going to be picking up a few extra kills, and TeebuL getting some considerable damage here, but he is completely supply blocked back at home and floating quite a lot of minerals, so unfortunately not going to be quite as far ahead as he could have been.
Oh, exactly, especially with this mine drop coming in, getting 5 probe kills. So KingSlayeR, he's not going down without a fight, but at the same time, TeebuL is going for a 3rd base. The heavy supply block isn't helping, as you mentioned, but at least he is, working on his 3rd, so he can recover economically and stay ahead.
Yeah, unfortunately, the macro has really let down TeebuL here. He's going to have to get a bit of damage with this Archon drop to make sure he can stay in this game. Otherwise, this push is going to be very hard to deal with.
Exactly, because we have quite a lot of Marines, we have our tanks, we have the Ravens as well. No disables are available, but he's not really going to need them, as we do go for an Archon drop into the main base, and SCVs are going to go down.
Yeah, great damage already off the bat. There's going to be 5 SCVs going down. Pretty hard to stop this Archon drop from getting damaged as well. I believe KingSlayeR hasn't researched Interference Matrix, so that's a pretty safe Prism though.
Oh, yeah, it is safe in the end. We're going to be able to race back home. Back at home, now we're getting into our gateway explosion. We have 4 more gateways on the way. We commenced Immortal production, and we're working on Charge as well. So if given time, TeebuL, he will be able to amass an army.
Why are those rocks
there? I just noticed them for the first time as well. Yeah, I didn't know they were there. I didn't know. It's so.
I feel like a Protoss made this map just to see how much they could get away with.
Yeah. Like essentially, this is basically like, hey, you can get a full wall off, and then when you're ready, you can just break these rocks, and you don't have to kill a building. Like that's wild. I've never seen that before.
Protoss door. They were asking for it, and they got it.
They got the door, Papi.
That's a pretty well placed depot as well. So we are going to be seeing that Prism hanging around here. If I am going to analyze this first game so far, I will say that KingSlayeR looks like the slightly faster player of the two, but TeebuL is doing a good job just with his build choice and overall strategy.
Yeah, definitely. Like he has been able to get quite a lot of damage done despite the macro, despite the speed of KingSlayeR. TeebuL has been able to maintain himself, and here we go. Now his upgrades are kicking in. He's moving out across the map. We'll see what he can get done, if anything. I don't know if he just wants to vie for map control, because regardless, like pushing up this ramp into this army is still going to be quite a difficult thing to accomplish.
Yeah, I think he's definitely just going to be trying to meet the army out on the map, stop any potential push, which I do like. KingSlayeR actually with a pretty hefty supply block himself, getting himself into a little bit of trouble here. I'm not sure how far away that 3rd base is as well. Well, it looks like he hasn't started up a 3rd base yet, so maybe that DT drop did do a bit more damage than I gave it credit for here.
Yeah, I mean, TeebuL is up 20 workers. He's up an entire base, and the KingSlayeR, at this point, he may just have to commit here to one big push. He doesn't really have too much more longevity left in this game.
Yeah, that's right. This anti-armor missile for the Ravens is going to be very important, but it looks like TeebuL already starting to organize a counterattack. If that is, I believe that's Archons in that Prism. Yep, so he can drop those Archons, maybe go for a Zealot Warp in as well. He should have enough back at home to at least slow down this push.
Yeah, exactly, as he does spot the push ahead of time, so he's going to be getting ready here to engage with those Zealots. Colossus are coming out one at a time, only one Robo, so not too much. Meanwhile, the Prism goes down to the mines.
Wow, okay, fantastic anticipation from KingSlayeR, and he gets into a really difficult position as well. Let's see if he's going to be able to notice this around. Oh, he does get pinched off by these Zealots. That's trouble.
Yeah, the Zealots, they come in from behind. The collapse on the Marines. Most of the Marines do go down. The tanks survive, but there's almost nothing left here for KingSlayeR.
Yeah, that's right. He's going to be able to pick up and drop. There's not really enough Stalkers. No Blink either. So this is a great move by KingSlayeR. Very good recognition of the situation, but we do have a recall. That's at least going to buy KingSlayeR some time, but he's still in trouble.
Oh, he is in a trouble. Again, he lost the majority of his army, and he can't really pose too much of a threat to TeebuL. He gets a couple of SCVs, sorry, a couple of probes, which is nice. He can maybe catch some of these Zealots as well.
Yeah, I really like that he's staying out on the map here. He needs to slow down this push. He needs to start chipping away and just getting rid of Zealots and hopefully keeping TeebuL back at home.
Yeah, exactly. As you know what, the tanks, they are within range of at least his gateway, so he's going to be able to chip away at the base itself. TeebuL, though, is actually going to be staying back at home. He's looking to take a fourth base, looking to take a more defensive position.
Yeah, this is a fantastic position set up by KingSlayeR, but I'm not sure how much more he's going to be able to get from this. Looks like the Zealots are being split off by TeebuL just to take out some reinforcements as well.
Yeah, a couple of reinforcements do go down. KingSlayeR is aware of the Zealots, and he is going to be racing back home. He doesn't quite have a wall back at home either. He at least has that bunker, and he has some reinforcements to help deal with these Zealots.
Yeah, really great army movement by KingSlayeR here, but it's going to be a struggle getting back into this one in general. This is such a good tank position, though. This is so nasty to deal with.
Exactly. Going to be able to pick off a couple of extra units. The Zealots are going to get cleaned up in the end as well. They take down the bunker, but not much else. And the third CC is now being taken here from KingSlayeR. At the same time, here comes some more Zealots.
Yeah, KingSlayeR just going to be backing off a little bit as well. This is some fantastic army movement from him, but the Zealot's getting a lot of damage. We have DTs getting sprinkled in there as well. That's going to be pretty nasty to deal with.
Oh, yeah, exactly. As a DT, actually, we have the Raven in position, and the Prism should be hunted down by the Viking.
Yeah, I mean, we can see not having the Matrix is pretty annoying here, but the Prism does go down. KingSlayeR kind of flexing that extra speed there to keep up with the multitasking of TeebuL. That was actually a really fantastic defensive sequence from KingSlayeR. I'm really impressed with his multitasking and ability to split off units at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. And as a result, he minimizes losses, right? He is catching up. He's only down 10 workers now compared to his opponent. TeebuL just now getting his fourth base up and running, but KingSlayeR, he isn't out of this. Things were looking dire earlier, but suddenly he's back in it.
Yeah, that's right. KingSlayeR definitely getting himself back in it here. He is, once again, a little bit of a supply block that he's running into, but as long as he starts getting aggressive with these units, shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yeah, and once again, he likes this spot, Babbies. He's going to be able to siege up here and try to take advantage of the natural base at the same time that we have the main army coming in from behind.
This spot is so dirty with the Liberator supporting as well. That is going to be pretty much impossible to clear out. There is just not going to be mining at this natural.
Yeah, no mining whatsoever. Liberators are repositioned to help cover and defend against the Colossus army. And do we deal with the push or do we go for a counterattack? It looks like TeebuL is going for that counterattack.
Yeah, I like it here. This push, location, sorry, while it is really annoying and it does deny mining at the natural, it's not going to end the game. So the counterattack makes a lot of sense, but he has to be careful not to get surrounded here because KingSlayeR is coming back home.
Yeah, he is coming back home. We do have one Liberator back on top of this ramp as well to defend, but TeebuL is forcing his way in. He has a couple of disruptors with this main army as well, but I feel like this is pretty bare bones. There's nothing really to support those high-tech units. Yeah,
I don't love this for TeebuL. I hope he has a recall because he's bleeding off a lot of units here.
Ooh. Big Nova is going to go off on the Marines. The boys are being pulled and everything is going to go down. We do have a recall, but what can we save?
Yeah, we lost the Colossus. We lost one of the Immortals as well. That was not a great sequence there for TeebuL, but he does give himself some room to get that fourth mining and the natural mining once again at least.
Exactly. And you know what? He killed 17 SCVs. The boys, they were pulled into that army and a lot of workers did go down. Now, KingSlayeR, he's ahead in army supply, but for the time being, is still staying back at home. He's going to be relying on drop play instead. He did leave his tanks across the map, actually, so he could just go back to taking control of this natural.
Yeah, it looks like those tanks are stuck. I think he's sent some medevacs to save them. There we go, yeah. He has. So lucky for him, TeebuL didn't notice and pick up on that, but yeah, it looks like they were just like unsieged and brought back home, but got stuck behind the minerals though.
Yeah, exactly. Something to bear in mind, a bit of a PSA for the Terran players out there is that there is no way out of that and you do have to pick them up. But regardless, the tanks do make it back home. We have ship weapons on the way, Ghost Academy as well to help out with those Liberators. Speaking of Liberators, they're going to be harassing the pocket base.
Yeah, this is pretty nasty. We have those Liberators getting set up. TeebuL is getting his fifth as well. Nice reactions from KingSlayeR, so he is just going to continue to harass here.
Oh, exactly. Its Liberators will eventually be picked off, and they will eventually go down for 6 workers. That 5th base is on the way, as you were saying. Main army pushing to the center of the map. No more Colossi. Bear that in mind. Only Disruptors to support this army.
Yeah, that's right. So it is going to come down in a pretty big way to how well those Disruptors can land. KingSlayeR dealing with a little DT run by there as well. The Liberators are going to be very important here just to zone out those Disruptors.
Exactly. We need to just leave our court here with the Liberators. Have to be very careful with this delicate dance with those Purification Novas at the same time as Zealot Rambai is moving out across the map. The Zelnaga is under control of TeebuL, so KingSlayeR, he's not quite ready for it. His reinforcements are going to be under threat.
Yeah, really nice Zealot run by. TeebuL's done a great job of that all game, just making sure that KingSlayeR can't just rally across the map. Every time these fights get set up, he is sending Zealot run bys straight through the middle to deal with any of those reinforcement paths.
Oh yeah, exactly. As the Zealots, they make their way into the natural base as well, and we force a big reaction. Everything turns around.
Yeah, I think it is a mature decision to come all the way back home, but it's a really unfortunate time for it to happen. KingSlayeR, it feels like he is losing control of this game now.
Yeah, exactly. He had so much momentum earlier, but alas, that momentum now swings in favor of TeebuL as the Zealots do take control of the natural. They head towards that 3rd base. 13 more SCVs go down, and the economy for KingSlayeR is almost non-existent. He is down to 39 SCVs.
Yeah, absolute chaos. This is just giving TeebuL so much room to work, and SCV is just continuing to go down.
Yeah, exactly. And now here we go. KingSlayeR is almost becoming all in. The army gets called out. A Ghost is going to go down.
Yeah, Ghost goes down, does get to fire its EMP, but that EMP, of course, has been nerfed a little bit as well, so not quite the same coverage that it used to get. KingSlayeR just trying to survive now on 3 bases, while TeebuL is pretty comfortably probing up his 5th.
Yeah, exactly. He's on the 5-base economy at this point, and he has been able to rebuild those Colossus as well. There's still that Zealot that finally gets cleaned up in the main base, and TeebuL doesn't force the issue. He is going to back off. He is going to give KingSlayeR some room to breathe here, but KingSlayeR, what can he really do in this situation? He barely has an economy. He has 1 base mining.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, TeebuL knows what damage he's done. He's been keeping an eye on things. He knows the 4th isn't up. Pretty much the only way he can lose the game right now is by losing this army.
Exactly, and that there is a possibility, you know, if he overextends, you know, if he takes a bad fight, takes some EMPs to the face, and maybe something could happen. Meanwhile, interesting, TeebuL, he is working through these rocks. He's looking to maybe even try to threaten this base.
Yeah, he is going to try to work his way through here. He looks like he can be pretty annoying. I would want to be pretty careful that he's got spotters out just to make sure he doesn't get surrounded here, but yeah, the Stalkers, they're going to be able to be pretty annoying just on their own.
They are 4th base is being taken, but the Zealots are here to stop them. The Stalkers getting damage done here in the natural base. Good splitting here for KingSlayeR. He does defend both his pocket and his 4th base at the same time, but again, he still needs time here to rebuild as TeebuL is maxed.
Yeah, and TeebuL's doing a really good job as well, just pushing that lead by creating these multitask situations for KingSlayeR to deal with. Because of that, KingSlayeR hasn't been able to lib harass, he hasn't been able to send little drops across the map or anything like that. So TeebuL, by using this pressure, has just maintained his lead.
He has maintained it, and here we go. He's looking to flex it as well, as he does land some good Novas here on the Bio Army, pushing on forward at the same time. Stalkers, they get into the pocket. We get a warp into the pocket base as well, and it's just a numbers game. KingSlayeR, he just doesn't have enough to defend both locations at once.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. TeebuL just running a masterclass here on how to play this matchup from ahead. Doing a really good job of not throwing away this army. The Novas are going to get some good connections as well. So yeah, this is just very well controlled by TeebuL.
Exactly. The Novas, they were good enough, and it looks like that drop into the pocket base has been cleaned up, but TeebuL is getting a 6th base behind this, just extending and maintaining his lead, containing KingSlayeR to 4 bases. And as you mentioned before, I don't see a world where he can throw this away other than losing his army, and there's maybe a chance that could happen, but that has to be reliant on TeebuL overextending.
There we go. Stalker's going to be diving back on in. This base is actually in a serious amount of trouble here. KingSlayeR having to go for those defensive splits, but with the DT blink finishing up as well, this could start to get real dicey. Beautiful Novas.
Oh my god, the Novas, they connect with the entire army, and KingSlayeR, that is almost all he had left. He's down to a bare bones army at this point. He's got a lot of Vikings. He doesn't have much else.
Yeah, it's something that all Terrans are born with, and that's hubris.
Oh
Not much else.
They're born with Smoge, you know. I think you can say that. Yeah.
I think so, yeah. I would have to agree there.
And here we go, TeebuL just pulling apart his opponent. Massive DT counterattack. You were talking about Blink, and there it is. They take down the orbital, and they can just wreak havoc here in the bases of KingSlayeR.
Yeah, I was about to say that's my GG moment. GG is called. TeebuL takes that one down. Very well played.
GG, well played. TeebuL takes the lead in this series, but mate, that was only game 1, and this is the best of 5.
Yeah, that was a great game. And I feel like that map definitely favors Protoss, so I wouldn't say that this is going to be a one-sided series at all.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like it was back and forth despite some of the advantages that TeebuL had. I mean, to be fair, I do think that Radisson Station is one of the more extreme maps, and I'm sure that on some of these other maps we're going to be seeing a more of a dynamic back and forth, especially early on as well. So I don't know if how indicative game 1 can really be in that respect, other than the fact that, of course, KingSlayeR was fighting back for quite some time, which was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, KingSlayeR, he did show that his multitask was really good. His defensive splitting was really good as well. But yeah, TeebuL just played that lead really well.
He really did, and we'll see if he can extend that lead here in game number 2, as we're getting ready here for the rest of our series. Game 2 is going to be on Site Delta.
Cool. I've seen this map before.
Yeah. This was the
did you say
map.
what you had for... Okay. No, you had pizza. You had leftover pizza.
Yeah.
I was going to... I don't know. I didn't remember you saying ramen, so I thought you didn't eat. You had leftover pizza.
I did have ramen. I may dip into some ramen later on, like in between some of the regions. I may get some more food. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Which is your favorite ramen out of the ones that you got recently?
Out of the ones that I got, I don't know what they're called because they're all. I can't read them.
What color is the packet of your favorite one?
Green. It's green.
Okay. Maybe I'll go look in the picture and find it. Does it have like... What does it have in it? Like, why is it so good? Does it have little like fish bits or something?
I think it's chicken flavored. I think it's chicken flavored ramen, which is unique to me. Like usually it's like seafood or like spicy or something else, but it's like chicken flavored. I'm like, it's unique. It's nice.
All right. I have more questions, but first,
okay.
In the top left-hand corner, the Protoss in the red, playing for Berserker. This is TeebuL.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Side Delta, we have the blue Terran player representing Mystery Gaming from the land of China. It is KingSlayeR.
Building castles in the sky. That's how it goes.
Sure.
It's a song. It's baby metal.
Yeah, the baby metal song. Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay. So chicken noodles. The problem that I have with chicken noodles most of the time is it kind of smells like cat piss.
Oh. Okay.
At least like the fantastic ones or like the Maggie ones, they really smell like cat piss.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So I don't,
okay.
Because I don't own a cat, and I'll be honest, I do not know what that smell is. I'm sure if I owned a cat, it would be very distinct to me. But what I will say is that this chicken ramen does not smell like the Maggie chicken noodles, because I do know what that smells like. So they don't have the same scent.
Okay,
but
so it's like more chickeny, less of that like weird artificial chemical-y kind of smell.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I kind of like when I get like the fancy ramen packets, I like the ones that have like little bits in them. Like it only has to be like 2 or 3 little like bits, but like when there's like a peak flavor bite that you can look forward to.
Yeah. It's the umami that bursts in your mouth, you know?
Yes. Like there's some udons that you can get that have these little, they're like these little white discs that have like a pink swirl on them.
Yeah.
Those are sick. I love those.
It's good stuff, Bobby. It's good stuff. I can get behind that, Bobby. I can get behind that. Oh, God. But yeah, we're getting into our game here, and I think we know what's about to happen. That's a proxy Twilight Council on TeebuL's side of the map. Oh, God.
Yeah, I thought he was going for the double proxy there, but it looks like instead he's just going to be going for that follow-up scout with the probe there, just to make sure that there is in fact a CC going down at the natural. He does confirm that now, sees the Marine as well, so he should have a pretty good idea of what's going on. It's going to be Rex Factory Rex coming out from KingSlayeR. This is generally a pretty safe build, but I feel like one of the things that it's going to struggle with is DTs.
Exactly. I mean, it is an economic opener, so he's going to have a faster second orbital for potentially faster scan. But as you mentioned, because of this opener, like the Raven is going to be quite delayed in the end, and we're making assumptions, but oh my god, he goes for the Proxy Twilight Council and he's going for Blink, not a Dark Shrine.
There's no Raven where we're going. Yeah. But this does give you a fast stim. Looks like he's going to be delaying the starport for a faster stim, faster combat shields. It's kind of like a middle ground between like a 3-Rax and a normal 1-1-1 build. This should match up really well against a 4-gate. I think this kind of just hard counters it.
Yeah, we'll see if TeebuL is able to scout and react in time here, as again, his own opener has been quite interesting and quite unorthodox. As you were bringing up, we do have 2 gateways in the main base. We have 1 gateway here at the natural, so 3 gates for the time being. We'll see if another gets thrown down. Looking at the vision, I believe TeebuL, yeah, he hasn't quite seen too much of anything. Likewise, KingSlayeR, he didn't scout at all. Like, we have a cheeky proxy tech, but KingSlayeR, he doesn't care.
Like, we have a full minute before this build hits. I need you to address something in chat. Okay. Stop calling ramen food. It's like 50 calories and you get hungry 5 minutes after eating.
What kind of animal gets hungry 5 minutes after eating ramen?
I kind of know what he means. Like, if I really like the Mega Ring that I get, but I think if I don't have 2 of them, it's not very much food. It's like a snack.
Well, do you put egg in your Mega Ring?
No.
See, mate. It sounds like, look, I'm calling him out, all right? It's complete in the chat. It sounds like you don't know how to eat ramen. Or, sorry, sounds like you don't know how to make ramen.
Yeah. Maybe you heat it up in a pot and you just chuck the egg in there?
Yeah, just put in. I mean, there's other, you can do that. If you want to be fancy, you can boil an egg ahead of time, right? And you can put it in afterwards, and you can even like ferment it like in soy sauce and stuff like that. Yeah, like this.
Oh yeah, well, so good.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Minute's over. Build teaming.
Oh my god! But look, if you're just putting the packet in the water and that's it, like, mate, like what are you doing with your life? All right, like, mate, you're not ramening correctly.
Oh, this is not good timing on this. This is really unfortunate. He is not reading the situation well at all, and this is going to get a little bit dicey as a result.
Yeah, here we go. The Blinkstalkers, the 4-gate Blinkstalker pushing into the natural base, and the army is going to be coming back, I think. The SVs are being pulled, and so much damage is already being done.
Yeah, the army has left the Terran base right when it was needed. This is on paper pretty much a build hard counter, just because Stim is finished in time for it, but because of that positioning, things are going to get a little bit more dicey.
Oh my god, they do get more dicey. We do force a cancel on that War Prism, on the Warpin, but the Stalkers, they blink into the natural base. 12 SCVs go down and counting, and now we can just recall back home to safety.
Yeah, Stalkers go down though, Prism goes down as well. This might be an opportunity for KingSlayeR to go for an SEV pull. I think there is a window here where he could go for the kill.
Yeah, we'll see if he can see that window. We'll see if he tries to squeeze his way into it. As for now, he's just staying back at home, just refortifying himself, building up his army, consolidating his army before moving out once again. But TeebuL, as time goes on, he's getting his 3rd base up running, and he is getting into robo production with those Immortals.
Yeah, so the name of the game for TeebuL here pretty much is just to keep the Terran pen back in their base. If KingSlayeR can find a push and get set up near the Protoss base, there's just not really going to be enough units to deal with it. But with the threat of this Stalker attack, TeebuL might be able to keep him back home.
Yeah, exactly, as the Stalkers are just going to be making their way into the main base as the army moves out once again. But this time there are some Marines in position, and TeebuL, he's going to have a harder time evacuating. He doesn't have a recall.
I don't think there's a recall. Yeah, all of these Stalkers are going to go down. TeebuL is in huge trouble now. There is pretty much nothing back at home to save him.
Oh, exactly, as only 2 Stalkers remain, soon to be 0 Stalkers remaining here for TeebuL. And back at home, what does he have left? He has a handful of units. He has that 1 Immortal. There is no splash damage, no Colossus, no Archons. Now a Bay gets thrown down, but it's going to take quite some time to get into that.
Yeah, absolutely. This push is terrifying here, and we can see that despite that kind of poor positioning at the start, the build matchup is still just so good for KingSlayeR. You have mass bio, you have early medevacs, you have that fast stim and combat shields. It's just such a good build matchup against Forgate.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And despite the rocky start, despite all the economic damage that was being done, here we go. We do see KingSlayeR just sending everything across the map, but there are a lot of charges waiting for him. Up!
Yeah, good positioning. He gets between the bases here. That's going to force TeebuL to try to take a fight.
Yeah, exactly. As we do force our ways in towards that natural base, Pilot is going to go down. We do cancel the warp in. Good mind shots on those Zealots.
Yeah, really good positioning. And we, cancel the second warp in on the Zealots. That'll be it, I think. TeebuL does still have the 2 more Immortals, but there is just no beef to the army. Just nothing to shield the units from the mass bio.
Oh, yeah, exactly. As the Zealots, they go down once again. And we're going to be going toe-to-toe with this army. There isn't that many Marines remaining here, but we have reinforcements on the way.
Yeah, we are just rallying across the map, and once these Immortals go down, there is really just not going to be much play left for TeebuL. The Immortals are gone, the Stalkers are about to go down. We have that last warp in of Zealots, but even the Mines, they are keeping them trapped.
Oh my god. Big connections as well. The Zealots are going to be going down. Here come the reinforcements, hitting the 3rd base now, and the army is almost non-existent for TeebuL. Despite the good start, despite the damage that was done, alas, it looks like there's just too much in favor of the Terran. GG gets called, and KingSlayeR ties up the series 1-1.
GG. We are now 1-1, and these guys are looking very well matched. This is going to be an exciting best of 5.
Oh, here we go. Exactly. We want it back and forth. We want us to go the distance here. And real feel. He looks. He's
big chilling.
It's like you're his bed.
It's not like I'm his bed. I'm definitely his bed.
Like Buffy, that's yeah. He looks so cozy though, so cozy. It's beautiful.
Yeah, he's pretty happy. He's recently started doing this thing where he just decided that he doesn't like the food that he's been eating for the last 2 years. So now he just doesn't eat it and then asks me for junk food. He has like the healthy food, like the diet food that he gets from like the specialty vet that costs a stupid amount of money. And then occasionally when that's like not here yet, I'll get him supermarket food, which is like the junk food. And he's just decided that he only wants the junk food now. So
you've spoiled him, Bob. You spoiled him. You know, you gave him like a little bit too much pizza, a little bit too much ramen. He's like, oh, give more
too much Macca's, yeah.
Give more MSG. Give oh no. It's okay. It's okay. He deserves it, Bob. He deserves some junk food every now and then. It's fine.
I guess he does.
Oh god. I mean, it's not like.
Oh yeah, go on.
I was gonna say it's not like he's like, you know, at least Rufus, he's not like overweight or anything. You know, he's not.
No.
Yeah.
And even if he was, you could just say he's fluffy. Like
True.
He's got excuses ready to go.
He knows, Bob. He knows.
He's a big boy. As here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Equilibrium. My eyes hurt. This is Berserker's TeebuL.
You okay?
Yeah, is it just me or is this map really grey? Like, I feel like there's a grey wash over these roads.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's thematic. It's yeah.
Is this game in the past?
As spawning, I mean, we can talk about it, but the color palette does remind me a little bit more of like, you know, like Wings of Liberty sort of thing. It's nice. It's nostalgic. In the top right hand corner, we have the Chinese Terran player representing Mystery Gaming. It is KingSlayeR.
Game was played in 1980.
In Brood War, Papi, in Brood War. But you did make a sound earlier, and what caught your eye, Papi? What caught your eye?
The whole thing.
Yeah.
It looks like the map that Scarlet played against Bomber on.
That was Habitation Station. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is similar in a sense where it's got really short rush distance by air. Like because I was kind of like referring to stargazers, I think, at the start of the map pool, just because of how short it is. We have the Zonaga in the center as well, kind of similar to stargazers, but we don't have those pocket bases. Instead of the bases, they are actually conjoined by these like really narrow bridges, which can lead to like really difficult positions to push into, like especially if this base is taken as a fourth. Like if you take the triangular third and then go for the fourth, like it's really difficult to push in here on the right hand side, and you have to kind of like dedicate your attention here instead. Yeah, it's an interesting map, to say the least. Interesting.
Yeah, if I'm going to compare it directly to Stargazers, it looks like the bases are probably a little bit harder to hold. And I think the air rush distance looks like it's probably a tiny bit longer. TVP, I'm not really sure. I mean, on Stargazers, when we saw TVPs, we usually saw things like Hellion drops quite a lot, some like double gas Hellion drops just to get the Hellion drop across really fast. And I think that would be good here as well. Like we can see in the main, there's a lot of dead space, and TeebuL's actually not really covering it either. But the other thing to factor in is TeebuL's played DT drop and then 4-gate. He's playing a lot of aggressive early game builds. KingSlayeR's probably thinking more defensively.
I would imagine so. And once again, it's going to be another Twilight Council opener. We'll see what kind of direction we go in. It could be Blink, it could be DTs for all we know. The other thing is that we do have a gold base as well. There are some gold bases to be taken, and we do see them commonly taken as a fourth base as well if we do expand towards the south portion of the map instead. It is very exposed. You can attack it from any angle, but if you can get away with it, that gold alongside the Restressing Gas Geyser can be impactful as well.
Yeah, doesn't look like a fantastic gold base. Definitely looks very easy to attack. But if you did have map control, I could see that being quite good.
Definitely. Ooh, for now, it is going to be Blink, so we can rest easy here, knowing that DTs are not going to be coming out yet. At least 2 gateways for the time being as well from TeebuL. Likewise, KingSlayeR back at home, getting into his 3-1-1 setup, delaying his start port quite a bit again.
Yeah, okay, so going for a similar build, I think this is a really nice adaptation to the kind of builds that TeebuL's been pulling out. Most of the time with that faster stim and with the faster metavacs that you get from this build, you have your pusher, like, I think everything's ready by like 6 minutes rather than 6:30 or 7 minutes. It means that you're going to be able to defend aggressive builds a little bit easier, and you're going to have a faster counter attack. I think this is a really sensible way to play against an aggressive Protoss.
Definitely. But now we're switching gears, because even though he's been known for his aggression this series, it's going to be a 2-gate opener with Blink into a fast robotics bay into what would be a third base, and we're going straight for Colossus this time.
Yeah, so pretty much a old school 2-base Colossus opener. I was kind of thinking this would be the way that people would be playing this patch quite a lot, just because the Raven doesn't get access to the Matrix as early. I think safe Colossus builds like this in general should be a little bit better now, especially if we're going for a 3 Colossus timing. We'll have to see what he wants to do with it.
Yeah, we'll see how many Colossus he goes for. We'll see how aggressive he is as the third base is taken here at the triangular third location. Meanwhile, the Stalkers are moving out. Remember, not too many of them. They do have Blink, but because it's only 2 gateways, again, we just don't really have that much to reinforce, so we have to be very careful with how we commit here as he goes straight for the mineral line.
Yeah, that's cute. Just walks in, takes out that SCV, gets out of there, just trying to make the best of his stim at the moment. But yeah, we can see there, these 2 metavacs out actually extremely early here. So we are going to be able to start pushing these units back. Almost like 2-on-1 timing. It looks like he's cut quite a few corners here. I think he cut tanks completely to be able to get this so quick.
No tanks. We're moving out across the map now. Oh, God.
He's dying.
I'm dying. It's over. We do have 1 Colossus already coming out, so because of that, we should be able to keep up with the main army, but with the medevacs, we could end up dropping. No, the Observer gets away!
These are some young man eyes. You saw that Observer.
Yeah. I didn't even see the Observer. We're observing.
That's concerning. I saw the Observer.
Oh, no.
We just don't have the. It's a Terran thing.
It's casting for 14 hours, 2 days in a row thing, Pappy.
Yeah, that's fair.
As here we go, we do have the double jump head towards the main base. Has been spotted by TeebuL, and can he deny it?
Ooh. That's a lot of damage going down on that medevac there, and I think, oh, these units are trapped now. That's really bad for KingSlayeR.
Oh, yeah, there is no way out. Not yet, anyway. We do have another force here towards the south, but again, we're going to try to pull away some of the army if possible and create an opening for this double drop to escape and get out, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. He goes to the Stalkers.
Yeah, KingSlayeR has to be quite creative to get these medevacs out, and he's done that. He's managed to get that red health medevac out of there. It is in trouble now. Yep, it's going to go down. So, honestly, getting the other medevac out is a pretty good result. It's still not great, though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was able to save one of them at least, right? It's better than nothing as he's taking his third base on location, and he does have to back off. He does relinquish map control to TeebuL.
Yeah, and that's a really good thing to point out, because I feel like on this map specifically, just because it's so large, losing map control to the Protoss is going to be a big problem. I'm sure he'll want to get back out there as soon as he can.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to try as he's going for a medevac drop here towards the south. Is going to be trying to bypass his Naga. At the same time, TeebuL is getting ready to expand and take a fourth base, but not quite the gold. Is looking to maybe even take one of the southern bases instead, as he does come across the medevac.
Ooh, yeah, that's been some pretty good stalker movement coming out from TeebuL this game, and getting those few medevacs early on can really shape the rest of the game.
It really can. He's just splitting up his army again, being very active with his entire army here, trying to catch whatever he can. Meanwhile, we have a Temple Archives on the way for Archons, for potentially Storm as well, to help facilitate for some splash damage for some AoE. And yeah, KingSlayeR, he's just been having a really hard time being active and being aggressive.
Yeah, TeebuL's just general map presence in this game has been really good, and he's going to have a pretty strong Colossus push coming up here as well. So this is something that I've been wondering about. I feel like with the Raven change and Raven builds being a little bit less prevalent, Colossus aggressions in general should be a little bit better now.
It should be better, and here we go. The Colossus do reveal themselves. At the same time, we do have a jump heading into the main base, but what about the main army? There are no tanks in position. There are a couple of Widow Mines, but again, there aren't as many as there should be because they have been getting picked off one after another. We do recall back home.
Oof. That's a big recall for just a mine drop. Maybe a little bit of a mistake there from TeebuL, but I think he's ahead enough that it's not going to matter too much.
I think he probably thought it was more of a committed drop with like additional medevacs maybe, but yeah, as you mentioned, it was a bit of an overreaction, and this mine, it's going to be able to reset.
Yeah, the mine's definitely going to go off as well. There's really heavily stacked probes here, so this could be pretty nasty.
Oh, exactly. We'll see if
Let's get a nice good look at it.
Yeah, we'll see if he does react in time. Oh my god. As he does get the gas mining probes at least. Only 3 workers go down, and the cannon should clean this up.
Yeah, that could have been worse. My bloodthirstiness is not quite satiated, but either way, TeebuL going to be heading out across the map once again. KingSlayeR trying to get everything under control. I feel like because he lost a few medevacs in this game, he's not going to have the Viking count that he would otherwise, because he's had to rebuild those. And yeah, meeting this at your base is not ideal.
Oh, it really is not. And KingSlayeR, who's just pulled out of position by that Zealot run by third base, is now lifted. 10 SCVs go down. KingSlayeR stuck on a 2-base economy. There we go. He does regain control of his third, but regardless, that was a good amount of damage from TeebuL.
Yeah, it really was. He's got those 3 Colossus going now. He's just going to be sharking around. He doesn't really need to press that hard until a 4th gets taken, and he has a Prism coming out behind this as well.
Yeah, there's that Prism. We have additional disruptors on the way as well. 4th base has been taken. KingSlayeR still trying to regain control of his third, and once again we have another Zealot round by on the way. The Prism making its way in towards the main.
Yeah, this is reminding me of that first game. TeebuL's doing a really good job playing from ahead, just making sure that he's being constantly on 2 sides of the map, and KingSlayeR can't really get anything going.
He just cannot. So the Prism does get into the main base as well. There are some Vikings though, so the Prism should go down, and does it cancel the warp in?
Yeah, not a huge warp in anyway, but KingSlayeR, I do like the way that he's sharking around. He has a lot of units, so he can fully break into 2 groups, but he's been caught a little bit out of position here.
Yeah, he is out of position. Over as they go off, they will connect with the army. The Vikings are going to hammer one of the Colossus, but the Colossus does survive. The rest of the Bio army though does get damage done here on at least the Stalkers. Oh.
Yeah, very good force field. Is going to be securing the escape for TeebuL, but he does have to be careful here.
He does, and he's going to back off. And you know what? He has map control. He's had map control for a long time. The goal base is being taken. Despite that, he's, ensuring that it's safe and sound. So we have a wall of cannons and shield batteries on the way, but he is free to take this.
And he does have that Zealot run by as well set up. It looks like KingSlayer's gotten a pretty good grasp of TeebuL's rhythm here, so he was anticipating that Zealot run by.
He is able to force it back for the time being, forces a recall from these Zealots as well, as TeebuL was fully aware that they would not be able to escape. But as he recalls back home, again, he can be active with the rest of his army. We have a Dark Shrine on the way, continued disruptor production as well. TeebuL has now maxed out.
Yeah, TeebuL maxed out, so he's just adding on all these extra different things. We are going to be settling into it a little bit more of a macro game. It feels like he doesn't have as much momentum as he did in that first game. It's a bit more even, and KingSlayer is able to actually fully split his army on two sides of the map.
Yeah, and he takes down one of the Colossus already, so a good pickup here from a KingSlayer. At the same time, towards the south, the Zealot Rumba is getting completely cleaned up, but TeebuL, he's not slowing down. He wants to push in towards that base.
Yeah, good stuff from KingSlayer, but he only really has Marines here, so he's not going to be able to stand up to the army while those two Colossus are alive.
Oh yeah, exactly, as we just have to give it this space. At the same time, this gold is not going to get up and running. KingSlayer has arrived, the Zealot Rumba is coming in, but with good EMPs, we can deal with this.
Yeah, there's more than enough bio here. He is going to be able to push that back, but this main army here is really the problem. We have so many disruptors, and I'm not sure if KingSlayer has the right kind of army to engage with that.
Yeah, 7 disruptors. The Novas are going to be going off, and they will connect, taking down some of the ghosts. Oh no!
Oh yeah, some nasty Novas there. KingSlayer, he really needed that fight to go well, and it has not gone well. He is really going to have trouble cleaning this up, and even the Vikings going down. TeebuL's army is looking a little bit exposed now. He has to be careful, especially while he doesn't have Novas.
Yeah, definitely, but he does back off in time. He takes down 7 workers. He's going to regroup. We do see KingSlayer coming back home with the rest of his army, but it's barely an army. He barely has anything left, and the gold base did survive. It did not go down.
Yeah, it did, and we see the blink coming in. The medevac's going to be going down as well, so those units are in a bit of trouble. KingSlayer's going to have to bring the rest of his army over just to protect those. But yeah, KingSlayer's army in general, it's looking pretty sparse. We don't have many Vikings, don't have many medevacs. First couple Liberators are hitting the field, but as long as TeebuL takes his time here, I think he should be absolutely fine.
Exactly, as the Liberators are going to be able to help hold on for a little bit longer here, but KingSlayer, he's still only on a 3-base economy. He had maxed out earlier, but he doesn't have the economy to sustain himself and to keep his production going as Novas go off once again. Up.
Yeah, Nova going off. We do see a couple of these disruptors are going to be going down. KingSlayer is trying to pick off whatever he can here, but these trades are not really good enough to get him back in the game yet, and we do have DT Blink once again getting researched by TeebuL.
Is on the way. We're just continuing disruptor production as well. We may have bled out a couple of disruptors, but they are being replaced, and the gold is getting up and running. The pressure is on KingSlayer, but what can he do at the moment? How can he fight back?
Oh, those poor scans. I can see KingSlayer, he knows that TeebuL has an observer somewhere. He just hasn't worked out where it is. And yeah, this is a really great fight for TeebuL here. He's going to be forcing those SCVs that have been pulled back, and I think that's it for KingSlayer.
Yeah, there's nothing left here. Only a handful of units remaining. GG gets called, and TeebuL will take game number 3, taking a lead in this series.
GG, another really solid game coming out from TeebuL there. So he has now got 2 match points to get it done. KingSlayer is going to have to go back to the drawing board here. Hopefully he gets a slightly nicer map as well.
Oh, hopefully, as TeebuL very quickly, very early on, he was able to take advantage of the map control in general and just kind of just force KingSlayer on the back foot really early on. Again, it was just a really unfortunate turn of events when he tried to go for his double medevac drop in his push, and he got cornered, he got stopped, he got shut down, and very early on he had to just relinquish map control.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that's kind of going to be the story of these next couple games as well. We've seen in Game 1 and Game 3 that TeebuL plays extremely well from ahead. He does a really great job of using his army movement and using multi-prong attacks with the Zealot run-bys just to safely take damage without exposing his robo units too much. I think for KingSlayer to win, he's going to have an early game that goes a little bit better.
Exactly, and it's all about that early game. And can he pull it off here as we get ready for our next game? Bearing in mind, TeebuL, 1 game is all he needs. Onomas, papi, onomas, and he will be able to advance on into the regionals, into the main regional for the Asia region. Meanwhile, KingSlayer, he has to win here and now to force the ace match.
Yeah, that's right. It's a really important game coming in here on Hectic LA.
it's hectic, bro.
Yeah. It's going to be a hectic game. This is a hectic best of 5, and this game is going to be the most hectic.
Cuz, hold me back.
And here he is in the top right-hand corner of the map. This is a real hectic Protoss. He comes from Pakistan. He is playing for Berserker Esports. This is TeebuL.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Terran, the blue Terran, representing Mystery Gaming. It is KingSlayeR. He's hectic himself.
Oh, hectic, cuz.
Man, for the first time in a long time, it was so sad. I ordered HSP. I think it was on Friday. I ordered some HSP. You know,
It doesn't sound sad.
Yeah, with some hummus, with some garlic sauce. You know, obviously.
Oh, yalla.
Yeah. But it didn't arrive, Papi. It didn't arrive.
Hey, what?
It didn't make it. Didn't make it here, Papi. So I couldn't get my HSP. Smooch.
Did the driver get a bit hungry?
I saw them enter the streets, like on the app, but they clearly just went to a different house, and I just, never mind.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Did you refund it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Gotta refund.
Uber Eats is usually pretty good with that. They just give the money straight back.
Yeah, for sure. And then that's when I got the pizza, and that's why I had leftover pizza today.
Yeah. I like to reorder from the same place just so they know what happened. But, that's just me.
Fair enough. Oh my god, TeebuL, now that he has a little bit of a leeway in this series, we have a proxy being thrown down on KingSlayer's side of the map this time.
Yeah, interesting. This positioning looks like it's probably going to be a proxy gate. And KingSlayer's been mixing it up as well. KingSlayer actually went for double gas this time around, which we haven't seen him do yet. So with the double gas, because he does an SCV scout, how well this goes is pretty much going to come down to whether this Reaper finds the proxy.
And the Reaper does a zoom across the map, does not come across the proxy Rex. As you mentioned, this is going to be quite an aggressive opener here from TeebuL, wants to be in the face of his opponent. As you were also mentioning, thankfully, we do have that double gas opener, so we already have units on the way. CC on the high ground as well, and we'll see if KingSlayer can piece this together.
Yeah, so already there's a pylon missing. He should be able to put that together. I do worry a little bit for TeebuL, actually. This build shouldn't be that good anymore since you can just make a cyclone. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see if a cyclone is made. For the time being, we have a Widow Mine on the way. The Reaper is going to be zoned back. KingSlayer just getting into his 1-1-1 setup here. And TeebuL just now working towards those Adepts and those Stalkers.
Yeah, so a few extra units coming out. Looks like it's going to be a third gate as well. So this kind of 3-gate pressure is something that I believe Creator popularized at least a couple months ago. I'm not sure if KingSlayer's put together what's happening yet. He might have just thought that the pylon's in a bit of a weird position. I don't think he is necessarily suspecting anything too crazy right now.
Yeah, especially because he is working on a drop. He's working on his second Widow Mine as well. Like, there is no safety cyclone. So he won't actually have that much at home to defend, especially if he does commit to his drop before the units reveal themselves.
Yeah, that's right. And here we go. We do see it. It's going to be that 5 Adept warp in, that parting twister. And this can be a little bit difficult to deal with, but I love the way that... I was going to say I love the way that he's hiding his mines, but he actually has taken the mine for a drop.
Yeah, exactly. The drop is moving out across the map just as the army comes in. Marines are going down, but 1 Adept, 2 Adepts even going to be falling here. So TeebuL going to be losing some of his units, but alas, he still takes control of the base, and the Stalkers now move in.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this in the 4-gate game as well. KingSlayer, once again, sort of misreading the situation and not keeping his units at home.
Yeah, exactly. And he goes for a commits to the drop across the map instead. And he is going to get a couple of workers, but a good reaction out of TeebuL as he only loses 1 probe, and he shouldn't lose too much more.
Oh, yep, a little bit of indecision for a second there, but we are going to be losing a Stalker. That's not bad at all. And the Cyclone does finally come out, so we're going to be cleaning this up. We can see the Cyclone is just actually, in this situation, extremely effective.
Man, it's broken, Papi. Oh my god. He shuts down the Stalkers. Shuts down the
One
Adepts.
situation, it's good.
Copium, but all the situations, man, all the situations. As he's going to be expanding here on the low ground, going for Cloak. Banshees behind this.
Yeah, Cloak Banshees is a pretty typical response to this just because of that 3-gate opener. The Robo is going to be really heavily delayed. Blink's really heavily delayed as well. So the Banshee does show itself, unfortunately, but that should still be a pretty useful resource later on.
Yeah, exactly, as we're going to be able to get a couple of shells in from that tank, but you know what, the Stalkers, they do manage to take control of the natural base. The Banshee as well, taking a lot of hits. We do have to pull some boys. We do have to repair here, as KingSlayeR will eventually regain control of his natural.
Yep, nice tank positioning, but TeebuL doing a really good job just being aggressive, making sure that he keeps KingSlayeR back at home here. That's kind of going to be the name of the game for him. I don't see a third base coming up, so I'm interested to see what TeebuL wants to do next. Okay, the third base is going down now.
Yeah, third base is now on the way. We dive on the tank. He's going to lose quite a number of Stalkers here. He will get the tank, but 2 Stalkers will go down just barely towards the end.
Yeah, I think that was maybe a little bit of an overextension there by TeebuL, especially with the second tank coming up. It definitely is. So TeebuL does lose a little bit of control over this natural now.
Yeah, exactly. And KingSlayeR, he is free to send out his Banshees across the map. Cloak is done. What's important, even though the Banshees did reveal themselves, Cloak did not reveal itself. So KingSlayeR may still be able to do some counter damage across the map and wreak havoc here and lay waste to these mineral lines. We do have a Robo, but we do not have an Observer.
Yeah, I'm getting the impression that both players are a little bit nervous in this game. We're seeing quite a few supply blocks coming out from both of them, and also just some misreading of the situation. I think it's a really easy thing to have happen when you are a bit nervous about a game.
Yeah, definitely. As we do recall the Stalkers back home, the Observer is being crowded out as we speak, but before that can happen, probes are going down. A lot of workers, actually 7 already.
Yeah, fantastic damage here. This is going to be getting KingSlayeR a nice lead in this game.
Oh my god, 15 workers go down, an entire mineral line essentially, and that is enough to get KingSlayeR in a better position. He's now ahead in workers. He can now think about working towards a third base, or even working towards a big 2-base push as 2 more Raxes are thrown down.
Yep, so it is going to be that 2-base all in. These supply blocks have definitely been hurting KingSlayeR a little bit, but it looks like he's pretty much got those under control now. Steven Combat Shields, they're a little ways off, but at the same time, with the damage that he's done, I think if this is paired with an SEV pool, this could be really nice. The other thing about this build that TeebuL's gone for, apart from not having the early detection, we also are not going to have Splash for a little while, so I do like the choice to go for a 2-base all in.
Yeah, definitely, especially because our splash damage is going to be Archons and Storm, actually. We're going for a Templar Archives, not for a Robotics base, so a very gateway-heavy composition here out of TeebuL. Is he going to have the time to get into that tech, though? Because, as you mentioned, I do think a lot of it's going to come down to how committed KingSlayer's push is, whether he does or doesn't pull the boys.
Yeah, that's right. We do have that scouting Stalker there as well for TeebuL, but yeah, we can see the name of the game here for TeebuL is going to be trying to get everything to line up with the push. So not really going for warp ins, trying to get all these probes out to get his third base saturation, trying to get Storm up as well. He wants to be cutting as many corners as he can before the push hits. This is going to be pretty close, to be honest.
Yeah, very close indeed. And here we go. The push is now moving out across the map. The Stalker does see it. He does spot ahead of time. And now TeebuL, you can start warping in. We should be seeing some shield batteries. So far, 0 shield batteries in between the third and the natural base. Storm is still barely not halfway done.
Yeah, I think this push is just going to be at the perfect timing where TeebuL's gateways, his warp-ins are not going to be hitting in time. The Storm is not going to be in time. This is just a very well-timed push coming out from the Terran here, and I just don't see a way for the Protoss to hold it unless he can delay this a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And we do see a Zealot counterattack at the same time. SCVs are going to be going down, but at the same time, here we go. We do push on forward. Storm almost done, by the way, but I don't think he can save this third.
Yeah, KingSlayeR is really respecting here the possibility of the Storm. The Zealots are wreaking havoc, but they will be cleaned up. Third base going down here, so the Terran does have a healthy lead that he can hold on to. As long as he doesn't take massive storms here and die to a counterattack, I think it's a good lead that he has now.
Yeah, but we'll see if he is able to avoid those massive storms. As Storm is now done, we have 2 High Templar, soon to be 1 Storm each, but they need a little bit more time again. There we go. They are ready for those storms. We'll see how good they are.
Yeah, Storms are ready. We've got a few SCVs with the push as well, so we can potentially start to make some bunkers. I mean, our mortars will deal with those extremely quickly, but yeah, there we go. The few bunkers are going to be thrown down now, and the tanks are in a very safe position.
They are in a safe position. They are within range of the Templar Archives as well. They're going to be focusing it down. 1 bunker will fall to the Immortals, but the army sims forward. Oh.
Yeah, the Army Stims Fort, he would love to try to get those Immortals. They are pretty much what's stopping him from getting the bunkers up at the tanks. Creep forward ever so slowly, and this is getting very scary for the Protoss.
Yeah, it really is. There's a third High Templar here towards the natural base, and we aren't pulling the trigger yet. We do go for a big warping of Zealot, so it looks like we want to try to set up potentially a surround even. Looks like the tank on the low ground is going to go down.
Yeah, TeebuL is thinking about it. Looks like he didn't see that tank there, but he does pick it out now. That does mean that his surround is going to be spotted. The two bunkers are ready. I don't think this is the time to go for it yet, but depending on the storms, this could be good.
Yeah, he's diving on in. Good mine shots on those Zealots. The reinforcements coming from behind. One storm will connect. We have two storms left. Up.
Yeah, two storms are left. Another good storm. The bunkers have been taken out, and only one Immortal goes down. TeebuL is doing a really good job controlling this, but he just does not have that much supply to work with.
He really doesn't, and one almost full energy High Templar did go down to the tanks as well, so really good target firing there from KingSlayeR, and with these Liberators, he can force his way into the natural base, and I don't think TeebuL can stop him.
Yeah, the Liberators, they're really the killer here, aren't they? They're going to be so hard to deal with. There just aren't really enough Stalkers that we can ever jump on that. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be very hard for TeebuL to find a way out of this one.
Yeah, exactly. As we push in towards that natural base, a couple of probes were recalled over towards the third, so it's fully up and running and fully saturated. DTs are being warped in as well. Do we have enough energy for scans? DTs, they reveal themselves across the map. And do we have enough to deal with them here on the front lines?
I love this. The DTs across the map and defensively. This is a really creative way to get out of this problem because, I mean, KingSlayeR is only on 2 bases. He is going to run out of scans.
He is, and there it is. There's the last scan to use defensively back at home instead, which means these DTs, they could try to collapse on this army. Missile targets are on the way, though, and the one is going to finish up here protecting the army.
Yeah, that's right. That's huge. So the army is going to be safe. We can pretty much try to save the scans for using back at home. I don't think we're going to be seeing too many scans, sorry, used over on this side of the map.
Exactly, as we do see KingSlayeR pulling back in the end, that one DT going ham on those Marines, getting a lot of damage done. TeebuL expanding, taking another third base here towards the right-hand side as another turret is about to finish up. So KingSlayeR just slowly leapfrogging forward. He does take down one more DT.
Yeah, he does charge on in. Well, that extra DT unfortunately does wander back into the scan, but a great idea from TeebuL in general. Like, I really do like what he's doing here with the DTs.
Yeah, I mean, he knows, but there's another scan. The final DT will go down. I mean, that was maybe a win condition, right, to try to somehow clean up this army and catch KingSlayeR off guard, but alas, it is still not going to be enough. Probes are going down. The main base is compromised, and TeebuL can't really stop this from happening. He's going for a big counterattack instead.
Yeah, the probes are exposed, so he does have to pull the trigger on this counterattack, but KingSlayeR is pretty well prepared from that. Good storms coming down. There is still one left, but it's used on the SCVs. That might have been a little bit of a mistake there by TeebuL.
Yeah, exactly. The SCVs, they weren't the biggest threat. The Marines were, and as a result, TeebuL, he cannot push in, not anymore. Back at home, the main base is under control of the Terran at this point, and TeebuL is all in with this army. Oh.
Yep, nice force field as well. Is going to be isolating this base with the extra TPS from the Immortals. We might actually be seeing this base go down, and we are going to be seeing the base go down, so the scan problem just gets even worse now.
True, there's only one orbital left for those scans, but it looks like the main army is going to get cleaned up, so TeebuL is just, there's nothing left. GG gets called, and KingSlayeR ties up the series 2-2.
Ooh. Yeah, 2-2 now, another very exciting game. It feels like when these games do get a little bit more scrappy, when TeebuL isn't in the driver's seat, that's when KingSlayeR can do his best work. But we are now down to the ace match.
It all comes down to this final game here, to game number 5, and this can still go in either direction as well, especially when it comes to their builds. You know, they've been going for some interesting styles. TeebuL as well has been very difficult to really keep up with and read as a player, so yeah, it's been exciting.
Yeah, certainly. I think in general, we have seen that KingSlayer's had to take more of the defensive role for most of the time. There's been a lot of weird aggressive stuff coming out from TeebuL, and I think he's done a great job of keeping KingSlayeR guessing.
Yeah, exactly. And we have seen that even at times KingSlayeR is not really too concerned with scouting. He just does his own thing, goes for his own build, and sometimes it works out as well. So still a difficult series and matchup to read, as the final game is going to be taking place under the sea in Oceanborn.
Oh, is it actually an under the sea map?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
On day to see.
Actually, okay. Let's see if me and KingSlayeR are on the same wavelength here.
Okay.
If I was KingSlayeR in this series, I would 100% go for a proxy racks now. I think a single proxy racks, because TeebuL's been going for like low ground gateways and proxy gates and stuff like that. I think a proxy racks would be really good.
Do you think TeebuL would proxy gate though here in the ace match? Would he do that too? Would he risk it?
No, I don't think so. I think he's going to go for something pretty safe here. I mean, looking at the way that the bases are set up, I feel like that Colossus build would be pretty good. We have like a short rush distance, but very defensible 3 bases.
Yep. Yeah, I do agree here. That is one of the features of Oceanborn, is the defensible 3 bases and the short rush distance by ground as well, similar to Golden Ore in that respect. But here we go in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have the Pakistani Protoss, the red Protoss representing Berserker Esports. It is TeebuL.
And in at the bottom right-hand corner of the map, bringing things back to the ace match. But can he qualify here? This is KingSlayeR.
Here we go. It comes down to this, and as you can see, we are under the sea, under the water, once again. It's beautiful. It's amazing.
Looks like a Maris map. It's got to be a Maris map, right?
I'm not sure. I'm not too sure with the authors, the creators of this map, the maps in general.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Someone tell me I'm right. This has got to be a Maris map. It just looks. I get that feeling.
As the SCV this time is moving out across the map here, trying to be a little bit cheeky, is spotted by the pro, but we are going to be able to set up an eBay block.
Yeah, it just goes for it anyway, and maybe TeebuL a little bit distracted, maybe thinking about the series, thinking about what kind of build that he wants to go for, maybe, you know, picturing himself qualifying, getting all excited about that. But yeah, unfortunately does miss the eBay block.
Yeah, exactly. So as you mentioned, because he wasn't paying attention, he didn't take notice or just didn't realize what that SCV meant. As a result, he's going to be forced into the unnatural natural, and this does create an opening here for KingSlayeR. It does mean that he can be quite aggressive. Fun fact, on this map specifically, Clem, I've seen him do it like 2 or 3 times now against like Max Packs and Classic, where he forces the eBay block here. He only goes halfway. He denies the base on the right hand side. He forces this southern base, and then he just goes for like a Cyclone all-in, just kills the Protoss.
Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see Cyclone all-ins being good. I think any reactor factory build should be really good in this kind of situation. Like mines, Hellions. Looks like KingSlayeR's not really positioning for that, so maybe he just wants to play standard from here.
Yeah, exactly. As you mentioned, the factory is a little bit further back, so we're not going to be seeing an add-on swap for reactored Hellions or reactored Widow Mines or anything like that. So more of a standard straight-up opener here. But at least he forces his opponent to be a little bit awkward or a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's being pretty annoying here for sure. Yeah, this map looks nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's a nice map. It's nice.
Good color palette. Just in general, lots of different colors.
There's this thing here though, like this.
Oh, the whale, the giant shadow.
Yeah, the giant shadow. When you're playing, it gives me a heart attack every time.
I hate it. I really hate it.
God.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that.
Yeah, every time I'm like there's like a meteoric drop coming in or something. Like it gets me every time.
The battle cruiser.
True. Veto.
Really?
No. We like Oceanborn. We like it.
Okay.
It's fine. But it's gonna be another Twilight Council opener going into Blink as well. So far, 2 gateways in the main base, and as we mentioned before, like the setup here for TeebuL is a little bit awkward, but for the most part, KingSlayeR isn't really looking to abuse it.
Would you ever put mayonnaise on pizza? Can you come up with a pizza where mayonnaise would be acceptable?
Why are you thinking of mayonnaise on pizza? What's happening?
I don't know.
So mayonnaise on pizza is a thing. I know in Korea, I know Korean pizza has mayonnaise on it. That is a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of pizza is that? Is that like a chicken one or like?
Yeah, like imagine like spicy like Korean chicken on a pizza, and then they put mayonnaise on that. Yeah.
Okay, but that would be like kind of like Japanese style mayonnaise,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah. Japanese style. Yeah.
Not like a really eggy one.
No. But like, yeah, Korean pizza, that's something else. That's maybe the only acceptable situation where you could put that on it. Otherwise, God no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like these stalkers are trying to cut off the mine drop, but Blink is not yet finished, so it is going to be getting in. It's going to be denying a lot of mining time here.
Oh, exactly. As we don't really get too much damage done, but that mining time is real, is impactful. At the same time, Reaper going to try and get a couple of worker kills at this third base as well. You can just see how awkward it is for TeebuL to try and keep up here with the movement as the mine comes back in. Oh, God!
Oh, big connection there. 8 probes going down. And that is trouble for TeebuL.
Oh, that is not a good start for the Protoss. Aye. Behind this, it was just a 2-gate opener into a robotics base. We have seen this before, a very safe opener, I guess, to go into a faster third base as well. But this was a rough start.
Yeah, that's right. And where this does get scary as well is because of that damage, TeebuL might be looking to cut that second observer, and it looks like he is cutting the second observer to get the faster Colossus as well. He just doesn't really have enough money to, get all sorts of different extra things, and we have Cloak Banshees coming in.
Ooh, Cloak Banshees here. The 1-2 punch from a KingSlayeR could completely catch TeebuL off guard. Meanwhile, he does have background vision. He's going to be going for a blink into the main base, and he could maybe even pick off that Banshee if possible, or anything else.
Yeah, the blink comes on in. We are going to be getting a denial on one of those units. This tank is about to come out at the perfect time, though, so I think we should be pretty okay here for KingSlayeR.
Oh, yeah, exactly. As 6 SCVs are going to be going in, 7 even in the main base as well. At the same time, Banshee does get across the map, and we're looking for some economic damage. We're looking for some probe kills.
Yeah, not much energy left on that Banshee, but it is still going to be able to get some good damage. Gets a lot of mining time denied as well. Unfortunately, that observer is coming on over now, but looks like KingSlayeR is pretty solid in his own base. I would say this is a pretty good start for the Terran.
Yeah, exactly. Even though he lost 10 SCVs, looking at the unit source type, he killed 14 across the map, and finally, that one Banshee does get cleaned up. We're getting into Colossus, getting into our third base economy as well. But it has been a rough road here from TeebuL, and he's trying to find more damage, but alas, there is a tank in position in the natural.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, so we've got a pretty solid wall there. We've got 3 tanks. Not going to be too much more going on with these stalkers, but Stim is pretty heavily delayed. It does mean that TeebuL, he can cut some corners and potentially get himself back into this game.
Oh yeah, exactly. Definitely could, as things are going to be stabilizing a little bit for a moment here. Things are going to be calming down between our players, but really we're waiting for KingSlayer's move out. Stim is on the way. It was delayed because of the blinks earlier, because of the stalkers, but Stim is now on the horizon for the Terran.
Turret going down as well. Okay, so one of the reasons as well that I bring up the Mayo question is I've just got this opinion that the pineapple on pizza thing is like manufactured. Like, I don't think anyone actually cares.
Oh yeah.
Like, when did this start? Because why is it a thing? I feel like it only became a thing when people it's performative. That's what I'm gonna say.
Did you see the most recent tweet from Namshar? See what Namshar's been eating? He ate a pizza recently with banana on it.
Oh, no, that's good. There's okay, it depends how he's done the banana, because have you had jerk banana, like Jamaican food?
What is I've had roast banana, like I've had banana grilled in in the oven.
Yeah, it's like roasted and spiced basically.
Yeah.
Like it's a Jamaican thing. They have I think it's called jerk banana.
Okay.
It's actually really nice.
Yeah, that's not.
So you have it with
okay,
more of like a savory dish.
Yeah. Exactly. I think it was a banana curry pizza that Namshar had.
That's an abomination. Okay, I understand.
I liked where you were headed because like you were going to somewhere like reasonable. You're like, no, yeah, like you know, if you spice it, if you like put it in the oven, like, you can, yeah,
or like Nutella banana pizza is pretty nice as well if you have like a dessert pizza.
Exactly. Like, nah, mate, this is something else. This is
this is just like I feel like triggering Italians today. He chose violence.
But here we go. When you see TeebuL trying to engage with the army of the tanks, one of them does go down, but a good siege here as well. A really good choke point. So awkward here for TeebuL to try to push in past this.
Yeah, definitely. But TeebuL's doing a really good job meeting this out on the map. I mean, if these 5 tanks get to his third base, he's going to be in some real trouble. But I like the way that he's slowing down, he's forcing sieges. He even picked off an extra tank there. He's definitely doing the right things here. And if he can get up enough zealots and enough immortals, by the time this push gets across, he should be okay.
Oh, yeah, exactly. As the Zealots are actually setting up a run by instead, going to be bypassing the army. KingSlayeR slowly leapfrogging forward here with his tanks. He has 5 tanks here looting to get within range. He's pushing into 4 Colossus. Oh my god.
Yeah, the 4 Colossus, they're definitely pretty important here. But I mean, if there are 5 tanks sieged up, they're not really going to be able to approach that. TeebuL's doing the right thing, just taking his time, trying to force these sieges to be further and further out. But ooh, an SEV pull as well. That's not something I expected.
This is it's a bit of a sneaky SCV. Are they meant to be here? Does KingSlayeR know that the workers are with the army? I don't know. As here we go, we're going to be pushing on for the SCVs are kind of in position to help defend against these SCVs, but also they're being surrounded.
Beautiful surround with the Zealots here. That was so well timed from TeebuL. He picks the perfect moment where a couple of those tanks were unsieged, and he even massacres these SCVs that were just hiding off in the corner. I mean, he lost quite a few of these Colossus, but with the Medivacs as well, I think he might have done enough here.
Yeah, TeebuL, he completely shuts down this army, cleans up the tanks, cleans up the SCVs. He's going to be going for now a big counterattack. And what does KingSlayeR have left back at home? He's got 2 tanks getting in position. The boys are going back to work. And I just don't think this is going to be enough.
You know what? You can really tell that it's been a while since I played StarCraft because I think the Protoss deserves to win this game.
Oh, you're no longer a Terran apologist? Are you are you a new person? Ash?
I can just recognize that, you know, he did some good things. He worked hard.
Yeah.
He played well.
Yeah. There you go.
It doesn't hurt anymore to say that.
We've lost him. I've lost my Asher, but who are you?
Yeah. I mean, that being said, actually, I don't think this game is completely over. I mean, the Blink DTs is a bit of a weird angle to go from.
I thought you were gonna be like, actually, you know what? That being said, nah, he didn't work hard. You know, it's KingSlayeR. He's just trying to live his life. He's just trying to survive, Poppy, and he gets surrounded out in ocean board. Like, what could he do? What could he do, Pop? What?
I mean, his tanks for siege. Like, what more can you ask for? Like,
exactly.
It's a siege unit. Come on.
He even pulled the boys and had them in position to protect them, you know, from a surround, and the Zealots just didn't care.
Yeah, I mean, TeebuL didn't even attack with his giant whale, and he still won the fight.
Oh god, as we do have some drop play coming in, but the overcharge keeps everything alive. TeebuL will protect his natural base, and he's snowballing out of control. He's got a 4th up and running. He's about to max out. KingSlayeR limping along. Is there a world where he can maybe come back in this game? Is there? What do we do, Papa? What do we do?
TeebuL's going up to 3 robos, so no, there is not a world in which he can come back in this game.
Okay. This is the win condition, Papi. The triple robo, triple disruptor production. We've seen that before, Papi. We've seen it.
Yeah, I do like what KingSlayeR is doing though, just camping up with these tanks. But yeah, I mean, we've seen it before as well. TeebuL, he does play quite well from ahead, and I like what he's doing here once again.
Yeah, definitely, as we do have the drop coming in once again, but we got plenty at home to defend. We got DTs slipping into the bases, into the natural. The main base was landed as the 3rd, by the way. That's how desperate the situation is, and how many scans do we have to deal with this? That is the next question.
What were those DTs doing, though? Okay, this is so annoying. I would be screaming right now.
We have DTs on the tanks. No, the
tanks shooting the refinery, and they're gonna kill each other. Oh my god, that's
And we
I
can
take back everything.
we can blink back down to the middle line. He's going for it. He's going
Take
for
back
it.
everything. This is the most Protoss way to finish a game I've ever seen in my life.
GG.
Yeah.
GG is going to get called, and with that, congratulations to TeebuL, as he will be qualifying for the ESL Masters Asia Regionals.
GG. Very well done by TeebuL. I think there's 3 games where he won. All looked very convincing as well. So great job though.
Yeah, very well done. But a special shout out to KingSlayeR as well, because hey, he made a series out of it. He forced the A's match, went the distance with TeebuL, which is not an easy thing to do, especially considering that KingSlayeR is more of an up-and-comer and less of an established player in the scene. So very well done. And again, KingSlayeR, he will have another chance as he is knocked down to the lower bracket. But congratulations to TeebuL.